All right. Hello. This is Jackson Hayes, and this is my final game prototype. Uh, this is my final project. Great analysis. Um, so with this will be a document that actually details a little bit more about what I've done. But in case you don't want to read that, which is completely fine, it's probably tiring going through everything. I'm going to explain it here real fast. If you want to, just skip ahead towards the end. Probably will be when the gameplay is. But let's go over everything that I've done. So, specifically in here, I just took like the third person template and I just kept it wide open because the looks of this does not matter. Essentially what I've done is for the third person character, I went in here and I added my own custom model. I added my own animations, edited the skeleton and everything on my own. I moved the camera back behind it so it has a bit of like an over the head shot. It's not really over any shoulder specifically. So within here, if I go to characters, here's all the stuff. I have an idle animation, which is what he's doing now. There's a fast run animation when you sprint. There is an animation blueprint and a blend space to make sure that it actually all looks good. We have some attack animations, these special attacks, and which is just the kick. I did not actually end up using, but there is an animation montage for it, and if I wanted to, I could make it a simple special attack. But what's important now is that there's a combo and a heavy attack. How combo works is as these series of notifies, which just go into the actual blueprint here. Because right here is the combo attack logic. So there's a little timer. Was it up here? Yes. So we'll just check to see if it's already playing any of the other animations, because it doesn't want you to be playing another attack to do one. It says this little index to 1, and then it stops you moving. Then you have a little timer here, and then it will start to play a montage of the attack, which here would be called combo. Then it turns the attack back down, you get your movement back, and it stops. If you continue to press it, it continues to tick these up, which for the purpose of this with the combo attack simply means that every single time one of these combo notifies happens, it queues up another attack. So first punch goes, second punch goes, last punch goes, and then it's done. Heavy attack is similar, but it itself is just a single attack, so I didn't really have to do anything for the animation. But it also has a thing here where it will stop the animation and will stop your movement. So here's the logic that disables the movement during the attack. It just calls from this one up here, and it gets the controller, makes you ignore it. Then once you get to the end of one of these and it says to regain the movement, it will give it back to you. Then this is just a sprint. You get the follow camera, changes the FOB, get more max walk speed, essentially. Now let's look down here. So here's the combo attack logic. Essentially, there's a timer for when it traces, because obviously you don't want to be tracing constantly, so that doesn't do damage constantly. So there's a little line trace, and then it gets the timer from this loop. So whenever a basic attack begins, it starts doing the combo trace. I have this one cast from left hand and to like so that would be like the wrist. So the left hand wrist to the left hand pinky. And then because it's a combo attack and there's not just one fist doing it, it's both, there's a second one here which casts from right hand to the right hand pinky. That happens at the essentially the same time. It runs through the first one, does the second one, but the right hand goes after the left hand anyway, so there really isn't anything happening there. And then when it's done, it clears the timer and turns it off. So we are only looking for if it hits this enemy. I just called it Box Boy because I didn't know what else to call it. If we go back to characters, I believe. Yeah, there's Box Boy. Then it sets combo hit ? To true, because within the Box Boy blueprint, whenever it takes damage, it has to see if it's just a combo hit or if it's just a heavy hit. So that it can detect the right amount of damage to take, because you could hit with a combo hit and then it would be a heavy hit, and it's just you want that to be different, as well as the fact that for my loop, my positive negative feedback loop, every time you destroy an enemy, you gain damage to the for the type that you destroy them with. So if you do a heavy attack, it gives you more damage to the heavy attack, and if it's the light attack, it will give you more damage to that. And then another part of that, which I guess I'll mention now, is there's a spawner within this area. So how this works is, when you begin play, it will spawn Box Boy in a random point along the radius. What you need to do, though, is you need to have this nav mesh bounds volume so the AI can actually see stuff. And specifically for this one, it also needs it so that it can actually spawn it within somewhere. Otherwise, it just spawns it at 0, like the world origin. So that is why that is. But we go back here. It goes on a random point in the radius, 7,000, just so it covers everything. You can just put them anywhere. Then there's a branch, and it sees if the spawn counter is equal to the spawn limit. So this is how many of them can spawn at a time, and then this is how many have actually spawned. So every time it spawns one, it checks, and then it ticks it up, and then it does it again. And it keeps going until the spawn limit's reached, and then a 20-second delay happens. The wave counter goes up, and the spawn limit increases by 2. Then the spawn counters reset back to 0, and then it starts again after the 20 seconds is up, so that it spawns more the next time. So while you're gaining more damage, more enemies are spawning that you have to deal with. Let's look at more of the Box Boy logic. As far as this goes, Box Boy just has his pawn sensing set way up so he can just kind of see everything. They look forward and they can see everything back and forth. And then
What'd you say?
what this has them happen is it sees if it can sense them, and then if it can see them, it will start moving towards them, which is very easy because if you just get an AI move to, you just put it towards whatever you want them to move to with the target actor, and you don't have to put anything else in there. It simply goes there, which is very nice. And that just about covers everything. Here's the heavy attack logic. It works exactly the same way, other than the fact that it's only in one arm, so it just goes from left arm to left hand, all along there. And it has a different damage value, because these are about... heavy damage is 25, and then combo damage is 15 to begin. And then here's another thing. So it does give them knockback, which is a neat thing to include as well. So the heavy attack gives more knockback, which keeps them at bay. The light attack doesn't do nearly as much, but it attacks faster. So all this together, all this combined, and I chose fists specifically because I was like, I'm gonna go for a wrestling theme. So working ideas that you're sitting in the middle of a ring, you got a bunch of guys coming at you, you you beat them up, and then you gain more power. So, here's this in action. So if they see you, they'll come towards you. If you punch them, they get backed up just a little bit. You punch them enough, they get destroyed. Heavy attack knocks them away. Sometimes they can get some really crazy distance, which is silly. And then so you saw there the 20 seconds is up. So now, 6 of them spawn. A good thing about the heavy attack is it can hit multiple of them at a time, while the single attack really can't crowd control that well. So we want to destroy as many... Oh, there goes some more. So again, each of the enemies has about 100 health. So at some point, if we keep swinging with the heavy attack and destroying them, we should get about 100 damage, or we should be doing enough damage to destroy them nearly instantly, which we're starting to see here. But that's just to show that this does work. The one bad thing about the camera, and I think I could fix it very easily, would be that if I... Oh gosh. Okay, well, this is probably a pretty easy fix with the camera, because you can make it go through... You can make it go through objects and such, so that is not too much of a difficult fix. You can just change it. But yes, this is my entire project. Hopefully this was satisfactory and it was something cool and fun to look at and hopefully to play. It's very simple, but there's a lot of work that goes into like the multiple mechanisms of it. The constant spawning, the damage increases, the multiple attacks, and the animating for those that goes into it. Just the entire fact of animation alone and having to make a blueprint that has just the locomotion and then the actual attack poses going into it and the animation montages, it's a lot. So hopefully this was good, and I hope you enjoyed the little demo.